This brisket was cooked in my Oklahoma Joe's Longhorn offset with a certain setup, super juicy. This brisket was cooked in the same smoker with another setup, and it turned out super dry. Now you might be thinking, I bet he used a water pan with the juicy brisket, but that's not true. The difference between the juicy brisket and the dry brisket was actually a simple change to one of the vents. And after doing a whole bunch of experiments, I'm convinced if you make this one small change, you'll never get dry edges or a dry flat on your brisket ever again. So let's get smoking. If you've cooked briskets long enough, you've probably had this happen. You spend 14, 16, maybe 18 hours cooking a brisket, and somehow parts of it still turn out dry, like dry crispy edges or a dry flat. Now to solve for it, most of us obsess over temperatures or techniques. 203 internal, probe tender, wrap or no wrap. But there's another thing happening during the cook that's way more important: evaporation. Your smoker is constantly pulling moisture out of the meat, and if you're not careful, it could be pulling out way too much moisture. Now, the classic barbecue advice to prevent dry brisket is simple: add a water pan. Water pans, as the theory goes, add humidity and even out chamber temperatures because they act as a heat sink. The higher humidity means less drying and a juicier brisket. And in theory, that makes sense. More water in the smoker means less evaporation from the brisket. But I decided to test it. This is my homemade wet probe. One probe measures normal air temperature, that's called the dry bulb temperature. The other probe is wrapped in a wet shoelace, a cotton shoelace, that constantly wicks water up the probe. That's called the wet bulb temperature. As water evaporates off the wet bulb probe, it cools down, so the wet bulb temperature is always lower than the dry bulb temperature, otherwise known as the ambient temperature in your smoker. The drier the smoker is, the more evaporation happens, so the wet bulb temperature is lower in drier environments. And if the smoker is really humid, there's already a lot of water in the air, so the water getting wicked up to the wet bulb thermometer needs to reach a higher temperature before it starts evaporating. So really, you can think of the wet bulb temperature as the temperature at which water evaporates in your smoker. And here's the really cool thing about that. The same thing happens with your brisket. If your smoker is really humid, like let's say you live in Florida, the brisket needs to reach a higher internal temperature before it starts evaporating a lot of moisture. Let's say 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's what temperature your brisket is going to stall at, because the stall is just the brisket hitting the temperature at which water evaporates in your smoker and cooling down due to evaporative cooling. If it's really dry in your smoker, let's say you live in Arizona, the brisket will start evaporating a lot of water at really low temperatures and lose more moisture overall during the cook. Let's say 145 degrees Fahrenheit in Arizona. That's the stall temperature that the brisket will stall at there. Unfortunately, the Arizona brisket that stalls at 145 is going to lose a lot more moisture than the Florida brisket that doesn't stall until it reaches 165. Okay, so let's all move to Florida, right? Well, for those of us that want to stay put, there are some other options. One of those things is adding a water pan, because adding water to the smoker increases the wet bulb temperature, but way less than you think. Okay, first test: no water pan, stack damper wide open. The wet bulb probe got really cold compared to the pit temperature. There was a large difference between the wet bulb and the dry bulb temperature, which means the smoker was really dry and evaporating a lot of moisture. In other words, the air was really thirsty. Then I added a water pan, and I expected a massive change in the wet bulb temperature. After all, everyone in the barbecue world recommends adding a water pan. But the results were kind of disappointing. The water pan helped a little bit. It raised the wet bulb a few degrees, but nowhere near what I expected. Then I noticed something really weird. When I restricted the airflow by closing the stack damper almost all the way, the wet bulb temperature jumped way higher. And this is where things get really interesting. Think about drying clothes. In Arizona, they dry instantly. In Florida, they stay damp forever outside. Same basic idea in your offset. The drier and faster moving the air is in the smoker, the more that brisket is going to evaporate moisture and the drier it's going to get. So when I slowed the airflow by closing the stack damper, the wet bulb temperature, you could also call it the humidity in the cooking chamber, jumped up dramatically. I ran the numbers through a psychrometric chart and calculated that the amount of water in the smoker air increased by roughly 15 grams of water per kilogram of air. Doesn't seem like a lot, but for perspective, that's roughly the same magnitude of humidity swing as flying from Las Vegas, which is super dry, and getting off the plane in Hawaii, which is super humid. We're talking about going from a place with a relative humidity of 30% to a place with a relative humidity at 80%, at the same temperature. If you've ever experienced that before, you'll know that this is not a small change in humidity. Okay, cool. Now that we know that just closing our stack damper dramatically increases the humidity in our smoker, let's all just close our stack damper, right? Well, not exactly. If you close your stack damper too much and you're burning all wood splits in your firebox, that wood is going to start smoldering like crazy. It's going to pump out dirty, acrid, disgusting smoke that will make your barbecue taste like garbage. Not something we want to do. But luckily, there's a solution to this that will allow us to close our stack damper without getting dirty smoke. We burn charcoal in the firebox, like a lot of charcoal. Unlike wood splits, charcoal burns hot and clean even when it doesn't have a lot of air to feed it. So what I do on my Oklahoma Joe's offset now is I mainly burn charcoal at the beginning of a brisket cook, close my stack damper almost all the way down for increased humidity, and I just add tiny chunks of wood for a little bit of smoke. That means I get way higher humidity at the early part of the cook when the brisket is most at risk for drying out. Then later in the cook, after I foil boat at around 165 internal, maybe 5 or 6 hours in, then I open up the stack damper and I start burning more wood. So the brisket is still getting a lot of smoke and developing a nice bark, and all the juices in the foil boat are taking over and hydrating the brisket to compensate for the drying effect of the increased airflow from opening the stack damper later in the cook. Oh yeah, and another really cool thing I noticed in this experiment was that the wet bulb temperature was actually higher when I had the brisket in the smoker compared to when I ran tests without the brisket in the smoker. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you load up your smoker with a lot of meat, you're gonna get a higher wet bulb temperature, you're gonna get a higher humidity, and all of your barbecue is gonna turn out juicier. Possibly one of the reasons why in Texas barbecue joints the brisket turns out so juicy, because they have like 50 briskets on their offsets. So what do you guys think? Are you gonna try closing your stack damper and burning mainly charcoal for the first part of the cook? Let me know in the comments section below, and until next time, happy smoking.